everybody. I'm Jacey Wyatt, and I am running for your independent candidate for First Selectwoman here in Branford, Connecticut. You'll find me on the ticket this year under a new party that I created, the Independent Branford Voters. I hope to look for your support this year, and I look forward to being your First Selectwoman here in Branford. This program that I'm putting together for you, you may have seen on the other one, more of my bio, information, history about me of where I've come from. This one is more the information that you need to know because it's more about what affects you. It's more about the plans, the ideas, all of the options that I'm offering the town of Branford and its citizens, where we can grow Branford and how we can grow Branford. As being a businesswoman for over 18 years, it's time to let my experience in leadership from what I've done for a business to help us as a town and look upon Branford running itself also like a business and making sure that we offer jobs, economic development, environmental protection, looking at our seniors, all of us as a whole, making sure that every one of us is on this journey for the next few years under my administration if I run and win as First Selectman here in Branford. No one should be left behind. We all should be working together, and we all should be able to be successful and run more smoother in this town, from building to just doing the basics that we want to do here in our life in the town of Branford. So I am looking for your vote on November 5th, Jacey Wyatt, on the First Selectman spots here on your ballot in Branford. Every one of your 7 districts, you're all important to me. We're all going to work together, and again, to me, I don't want any divided town. We all should be working together, and that's one thing that you're going to get with me as an independent candidate. I don't have to answer to a party. I just have to answer to you. So I hope during the next half hour or so that you understand what I come from here is more of my plan, my business plan, the goals and ideas of where we can grow our town. We've made it real easy for you to be able to reach me this year via the social media, by Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and of course by email. You'll find the information below, flipping below on our screen. This information is going to help you to be able to reach me via also my websites. You can look us up on BranfordVoters.com. Inside the website, you're going to see a bunch of information, such as the videos that I gave you for my ideas and plans of where we can lead Branford, to information that really concerns you, the seniors, and all of us here in town, all listed inside our BranfordVoters.com websites. Please review that. It's at your beck and call. You could do it at your own free will. I am creating a great show for you to be able to show you this information, and all of this is going to be really effective on how and why you should vote for me this November 5th for your independent candidate here in Branford, Connecticut. I'm honored to serve you, and I'm going to be honored to serve you for many years to come. I look forward to your votes, and remember, vote independent. Vote Jacey Wyatt for First Selectwoman here in Branford, Connecticut. So one of the next parts that I wanted to share with you is some of the independent candidates. As you're going to see this year, there's going to be a Republican, a Democrat, and also a new party, which is from me, the Independent Branford Voters. It's the third line. You're going to find me, Jacey Wyatt, under First Selectwoman. You're going to find me also on the Board of Education. You will also find on your ballot, you're going to find Lucille Pascarella under the Board Assessment and Appeals, and also as Constable. We look forward to you supporting these independent candidates. So let me introduce you next to more about our ballot this year. You're going to find the Republican, the Democrat, and also us, the Independent Branford Voters. We're the third line on the ballot. You're going to find me, Jacey Wyatt, under First Selectwoman. You're also going to find me on the independent ticket line under Board of Education. We're also going to find Lucille Pascarella under the Board Assessment and Appeals, and also Constable. But also you're going to find Brandon Ammon. He is a really experienced young man here in Branford that we're trying to put our independent teeth into to get him onto the RTM. Look forward for your support. If you're in the 1st District, to please vote for Brandon Ammon too on the RTM to bring him in and help me and my party along the way here. Again, I'm looking for your support as First Selectwoman, because remember, this year is a little different for the actual ballot. There's a 3-party system, which means there's 3 candidates that are running for first, but there's 5 candidates running for second and third. So what that's going to mean is that if you just want me Jacey Wyatt, Andy Campbell, and Jamie Cosgrove to be your first, second, and third selectmen, you wouldn't be running with their candidates. These three are the team that will become part of the Board of Selectmen. So again, by sharing your vote with me, you're putting me as first. We want you to vote independent, and we hope that you find my vision, my plan, a lot of the information you've heard from the debates, and a lot of the information you're seeing on public TV to share with you who I am and ground yourself to understand a little bit more of where I hope to bring us all together. As an independent woman, it's time to put an independent woman in the town hall. It's time to let us look upon that there's not a party just operating our entire town. There is two. There's three. There's going to be a time when we all need to work together. I have that leadership skills, and I also have a lot of the assets that we will need to put together that experience in leadership that brings us all together and get things done quicker and for the best of all of us. Again, please look at this ballot and understand all of the information that's in there when you vote for somebody, because it is really important of all the people you put on the RTM. And it's also important for the people you're putting on the Board of Education and all the other situations that we have on our ballots. Please vote for who you feel is your best interest for us all. And again, I hope you're choosing the independent candidates this year to make the best time ever for change, to bring a woman back to town hall and bring us the independent times that we need to in this town to bring us to the next level and future of all of us for here for a very long time. Thank you very much. I'm Jacey Wyatt, and we're going to share with you more information.
Hi, my name is Ammon, and I want to take a moment to introduce myself to you. I'm running for the RTM in the 1st District under the independent ticket. One of the reasons I've gotten involved in this is that legislation is being proposed that's going to limit businesses from coming to Branford. I, as a small business owner, see the direct effect that it's going to have on myself, and I want to help others. Another reason, going with the helping others, is I want to be able to represent other people in the RTM. So on Election Day, please come vote, support me, Ammon, on November 5th under the independent ticket. Thank you.
And there you go. Ammon, a great person for us all here on the 1st District RTM. Please vote for him. Now I'm going to share with you my booklet, the information you've been hearing about and seeing. I've been putting 10 years of information, experience, and putting my passion and heart of what I love about this town to show us where and what we can do. This booklet is very informative. It's going to help you really realize why I'm the best and right choice for us here in Branford, Connecticut. So let's begin, and let me share you my plan, my grander plan for Branford, and the business plan that helps us understand where we can lead us for our next generation and for all of us right now to lead the town of Branford in our future. The next part that I want to share with you is going to be the economic development plan, our tourism, and look upon how we can grow our town and make our tax dollars. These maps and all of these drawings that I have done is here to share it with you. That's what a leader should do. This is what a first selectman should do, is help us plan and organize our town and be able to bring our buildings. That shouldn't be issues. Not building buildings shouldn't be issues. We have much more other issues we can deal with in our town. And these maps will share you some of my vision and plan for Branford, and I hope you enjoy them. So this is the booklet that I prepared for us for part of my business plan, economic development, and also showing us a little bit more of my grander plan for Branford, and also the ideas and where I'm coming from here and what I can offer us as a leader, as your first selectwoman here in Branford. As you see on the cover, picture of me. Yes, it's great. It's one of these things that is also showing you that my past and history as a model and being part of a spokesperson and being a leader here for our town. So on the cover again, we call it a political review. Picture of me. It's a great idea to just let you understand how to market, how to be able to show you how I'm planning to sell us here in the campaign. And again, this is page 1 of a 40-page book. So let's go to page 2. On page 2, what you're going to see over here again is the information of why it's important to vote independent. Please vote for the independent candidates this year. In the middle over here, you're going to see a graphic of all of the pamphlets, the information, like on the golf course, the issues, and a lot of the things that I wish to share with you and why I'm your candidate, the best candidate to run and the right choice for us here in Branford. Over here on this side is a really important part of this. It's also about the facts. about the numbers of the registered voters here in Branford. But of course, as its Chief Executive Officer and being a business owner for most of my life, 18 years, I have been a CEO. I understand leadership and how to absolutely work with all of us to absolutely delegate and show us how to operate and be smart about making choices that we need to do as a leader here in Branford. So yes, I am a Chief Executive Officer. But let's talk about these facts. The facts are really important. These are the unaffiliated and also the registered voters in Branford that are on the independent side. The people that will support me, the people that can support me. If all the independent people in Branford voted independent, there wouldn't be a Republican and Democrat in office. We have 55% of the votes. That's a great large leadership that we can also help us put somebody like me, an independent candidate, in town hall. The Republicans have 2,900, just 15%. 15% of the actual vote of here in Branford. The Democrats have 30%. So an independent is the right way to go. That's what the people in Branford are saying. They're 55% of the votes, and that is absolutely where I absolutely came to rep. I want to be the independent candidate. I am the independent candidate. And again, numbers don't lie. These are the facts and the truth. So if the independents vote independent, you're going to bring somebody like me in the town hall. It's an option for us, and I gave that option to us this year by being that candidate, the independent candidates. And again, this is a great information for us to share on the facts that Branford has 55% of the vote as the independents. The next page is more about my community involvement. This page right here is great. It shows you where I'm coming from and how I shared my life with us here in Branford. It's fun to see us at the Branford Festival, meeting some great families here in town and being great supporters. You have over here also information that is important about being independent and all of the ideas and the things that I've been doing here in Branford as a volunteer, bringing on the Garden Club, working with the Friends of the Library, being the Vice President of Branford Historic Society, working with all of the organizations from the BECC, and many other youth organizations here in Branford. There's so many things that we need to do as volunteers. It's a great, heartfelt part of who we are. And I, for many years, have always loved to volunteer here in Branford. As over here on this page, you'll see me being sworn in as your Parks and Open Space Commissioner. That's Maren Kelly. We have absolutely been voted in, and I am now a Parks and Open Space Commissioner. Being able to help us and preserve our parks and the land that is incredible with our nature, from streams to the wilderness that we need to preserve here in Branford. And I'm honored to work and be one of your commissioners here in Branford. The other part is also important, is to know a lot more about me. This booklet is all on our website. You can download it, or if you need one, please ask. All of this information should help you realize why I am the right choice here in Branford. So let's go to the next page. The next page is more about why to vote for me. It's important to be able to see these videos that we're creating for you, the information. There's a part 1 and a part 2. This will help you understand a little bit more about why I'm running as an independent and why I am a right choice for us here in town. A lot of this information is going to tell you all of the information of where I come from, my background, my business background, and how that is going to help us not only from an architectural planning, helping us be able to work with the public with this background of helping you how to understand how to see site planning, and help us even improve P&Z, our building methods, making sure that we look about our coastal management. Our coastal right now is under a complete stress from the storms and climate change. Being able to have a great plan for us, this will help you and understand inside this booklet on this information on how I could provide to you that absolute leadership that we need and so many issues here in town. And again, it's one thing that's important is education. You know, it's one of these things that is on this side over here, it's really important to show you where I want to lead us down the road for education, as I offered you information on helping us to keep our children here and learning to become at college level with the Branford University idea, putting in a prep school, being able to understand that our education system can be so much more than we are doing. We don't want our kids to just leave to go to other schools all over the country. They have that right. But what if we offered that option that they could stay here, to grow a family here, grow a business here, get a job here in Branford, be educated here, and be able to really understand how to make a new life generation for each other. You come here, you live here, you go to school here, and you retire here, and you live the life of living in Branford. Let's go to the next screen. The next screen is great. This is a great graphic that I have taken here in the Thimble Islands. It's part of Wheeler Island. And it's a great part of what we do here in Branford that I do. It's called the Visit Branford TV shows. I'm taking you out and letting you understand more about the things that are going on in Branford and the great and the love and the passion that I have about our town. Please watch our Visit Branford TV shows. There's many of them on YouTube right now that you'll be able to see and enjoy. And again, from things like Branford Village, showing you how we can build a new tourism economic development plan here in Branford that'll really help us get the money and funding we need down the road for schools and other projects. That is what we do. That is what I can do, is offering these plans and ideas that are just simply a great little idea that can blossom into something really remarkable. Branford Village is a colonial village, a preservation of Branford's past, being able to understand how to save and preserve all of our historical buildings, creating some of our past ones, and building a village for all of us. We'll introduce the Bittersweet Farm again, being able to bring artisans a brand new facility that is more rent controlled, being able to share their talents that's needed here in town. So again, this is one of the information you'll find inside this packet over here, is again part of the Visit Branford TV shows. We have one on the Indian Dunes Golf Course, one on Cerrito Furniture, showing you a business here in Branford. And the other one is also more information about us, letting you know more about the Independent Party and the candidates that are running here in Branford, Connecticut. So through the next page. On the next page is more of my bio. You'll have information about me that'll show you more information of where we can share images of my modeling, telling you all about my past and my history of where I've been and all my businesses here in Branford. There was a part before. On part 1 of this, we'll give you more of that detailed information. So inside this page, you'll see just images again of me and showing you more information of my past as a model and sharing the great things of what I've done here as a businesswoman. On to the next page is more what we just talked about, Indian Dunes. This part is great. Here's a great ad telling you about information on golf. And please listen to the Visit Branford Indian Dunes Golf presentation that I've done. It will help you understand how Indian Neck doesn't need to be the scar of where we are when we can create a public golf course. And I'll share with you in this booklet very shortly how it is in actually the plan that will help us understand a lot more of why that land can start being a return on investment, such as cost us so much money. It's time to make and preserve that land, keep it an open space, but as a golf course open space. And then we don't have to worry about the situation of questionable, is it contaminated or not? It's one of those things, grass is never going to complain what's underneath it. We can use environmental friendly chemicals or environmental friendly items that need to be located inside the actual designing of the actual golf course, like barrier walls, protecting it so it doesn't reach into the streams, using absolutely organic and absolutely the best choice to keep us preserved and safe and make sure everything in that green in the golf courses are to the par of a professional golf course. Now onto this side over here, I just want to share with you as part of the golf plan. Inside this golf plan, there's many things that we can do here in Branford. And it's on recreation, leisure, golf. Public golf courses is part of the future. It's one of those things that we don't have here in Branford. We do have Pine Orchard Golf Course, but we don't have a public golf course. And people who would want to visit and share and come from New York, Lower Fairfield County, You got Amtrak that goes along the lower end of this entire development on Tabor. That'll see a great golf course along the route between New York and Boston. So let's share with you more information on the Indian Dunes Golf Course. Actually, it's this way. So on this page, on the Indian Dunes Golf Course, which I'll show you on this, again, a great another ad about the Visit Branford TV shows. On this side, again, is part of the packet that is available to you. You can also download the PDF, and it shows you my idea that I brought to the Board of Selectmen meeting back in this year in 2013 when they asked me more about what I would do with Tabor and how I could put public works at the transfer station site and save the town money. There's many options, obviously, for public works, and it shouldn't be an issue to build it. Building buildings should not be our issues. Feeding children, completely improving our roads, offering services, and helping with seniors. Those are the issues. Building buildings is easily done when people start working together and having the right plan and the right site for a building. Public works shouldn't be going on buildings that are chose to be for businesses. If the garage needs to be where it needs to be built, it shouldn't be on Route 1 where businesses can benefit by being on Route 1. Public works doesn't benefit by being on Route 1. Public works will work where it is. It's been bounced around now twice. It's one of those things that we need to house them and give them the building they need. And it should not have taken 2 years to figure out even where to go. Yes, as your first selectman, I already have very clear answers where we can start. And again, with a standing building committee and working with the other people, it would be the right choice for all of us. So on to the next page, which is the Indian Dunes Golf Course. As I shared with you before, this is a great plan. It's showing you the after effect of how public works is not at Tabor. This is showing us a park on the actual landfill, an 18-hole golf course, showing you all of the services that were looked upon moving to the site that makes sense, a low impact to the neighborhood, by building the Danny Animal Cosgrove Animal Shelter, giving them a new building twice the size, more dog runs, and being able to function in this space that wouldn't have to worry about being next to the transfer site. This is a great place for this type of organization to be moved to. Now we'll talk about the country club and the senior center that you'll see more of shortly, why it could work, why our wellness for our seniors and growing children to realize that golf could be part of their actual academic part here of education. It's great that we could have two facilities. These buildings are not steel boxes. These are relatable buildings that belong in the neighborhoods. They look like homes, the large homes, but they look like homes that make sense. It will relate to the neighborhood. As a designer, that's what I'm able to offer us too. It's giving us a great plan that makes sense and also giving us a relationship and knowing that I understand the land in the neighborhood. I've been here for 42 years. How all of this will relate and make sure that we are putting a project for 100 years and it makes sense where it's going. We can solution any of the issues. We could add more soil. We can actually look from an environmentally making sure the golf. We will make sure all of the green trail and any environmental concern that needs to be addressed is concerned. Planting more trees. Making the trails absolutely safe and functional, that it works right through this actual project. The Chet's Pond will be part of the actual golf course. Those are the kind of things that make sense. And it's one of the things that I'm hoping everybody from what I hear is enjoying this plan. That's why this does make sense. Making Tabor a golf course, that precondition of what do we do with it is answered. This can make approximately $2 million a year. It only costs about $150,000 a hole to actually build a golf course. We are looking to build a professional golf course here in Branford that will not only bring in tax revenue, it will also pay for the past years of its legal fees and the taking it of eminent domain, but it also will bring a return on investment to the town, not only just start day one, but long term, when it actually can be utilized for events, and many other ways that we can make this place be even profitable than it is. It's a business, it's a plan. It works for the neighborhood, and it also works for us all here in Branford. So on to the next page. Again, we just talked quickly about numbers. These numbers, again, on this side, is really important. This $2 million number, what is that $2 million? if you look on the rounds of golf is how we look upon making money off golf courses, the green fees. So when we look at these numbers very quickly, the 2 million is based upon people playing rounds of golf, paid on a fee of about $59 to play on the golf course. We could charge $40. We can charge $100. There's a brand new course. Well, we base this number on $59 a round fee. You put 2 people on a hole, you multiply that times a 4-hour day, to pay that times 240 days a year, because we're not open all the time, equals 34,000 rounds of golf, times $59 is $2 million a year. Over here on this side, you'll see more of the constructions. You'll see more avenues of how much it can cost us and let you know a little bit more. It's saying right here clearly, not only are these graphics showing you how it can be a par 3 or even less, so it depends on how high we want to make the yardages. But this here is showing you basic here on this check mark is about $2 million to build a golf course. That is absolutely the truth. It talks about $150,000 a hole. So for about $2 million, we turn this entire almost 120 acres to 2 parts. There is 2 parts to this. It's not just Tabor. The lower part 2 around the dump. We do preserve all of the land trust land, absolutely, as you could see on the graphic prior, keeping the trees, growing and keeping nature. It's environmental friendly. And you shouldn't be scared that open space can be golf courses. It will preserve that nothing will be built on those properties. And again, on these graphics, you'll see here a cost that could be approximately, again, what we can build here in town. Again, a golf course that's feasible, that in 1 year, we actually can make enough money to pay for itself. That's good planning, and that's a good leadership here in Branford. Now to the next graphic. On to the next graphic is more of, again, the back page is on the Tabor, showing you more of the country club and the senior center, which we're going to share a lot more with you. But over here on this side, this is more about economic development, which I mentioned before. And this is the plan that also helps us, not just from a golf course now, but now let's bring us into tourism. True, real tourism that makes sense for us here in Branford. If you didn't have time yet, please watch inside our shows, inside my BranfordVoters.com website, the Visit Branford on Branford Village. I did a great presentation for an hour at the James Blackstone Library, and it helped us to explain where I wish to take our history and how we package our tour, package our plan that makes us into a tourism place here in Branford by preserving our past, keeping and looking upon making us a very important part of our past is our history and how we can utilize Branford Village to be part of our next plan of tourism, how economic works with this actual plan. So on to the next page, Branford Village. Branford Village, again, would be a colonial village. This is King's Highway. That is what Main Street was back in the 18th century, the 1700 period. This is sharing with you the fun of seeing horse and carriages, the colonial buildings that were actually here on Main Street, such as the Daniel Swain House, one of our founders, and it's showing us our history and our past. But it also utilizes this information is bringing that colonial period that allow us to have vacation homes, timeshares, rentable villas that allows people to not only be able to share our story and hear our history and learn it, which again you could learn much more in the program that I've shared with you, but this here is showing you a point of what we can do here in Branford by preserving and becoming the tourism, and as we always say, I said many times, making Branford a destination. Tourism is important. It makes funding. It makes us tax dollars. It doesn't clutter the streets when we plan it correctly. Somebody like me as a designer would have great plans and ideas, which I am very willing to share with many people in town. And again, that's coming hopefully soon if I win your first select woman, because obviously these kind of planning is what's needed next for our town, and it's time for a change, and it's the opportunity to bring somebody like me, an independent woman here in Branford, to Town Hall. On to the next page. This part again is a little bit more about Branford Village. On the bottom, you'll see the graphics. These graphics are actual drawings that I was able to find what was here in Branford on King's Highway. You'll see the Swain House, Planters Cartway. You'll see the Frisbee House. You'll see King's Tavern. All of these buildings that were once part of our 1700, our colonial period before we became America. And these are drawings I found from deed rights. I went up and I found this. And again, all of this information is showing you about this colonial village that I have so much heart and passion for to bring us here in town, to make us the money we need to build our schools and facilities, our structures and systems, and preserve our lands and be able to provide photography and images of what we need that share. This is Branford. We love to take pictures of our shoreline. There's so many other things we can offer and show us here in Branford. And again, Branford Village is part of one of my plans. So to the next graphic. The next graphic is Branford University. Branford University, which I explained it a few times, is more of understanding that we have Branford Hall. We have Porter and Chester here in town. Yale was founded here in 1701. These kind of things is where we can also look upon our education system, continuing it, understanding how much more we can do here. And again, Branford University is part of creating a actual functioning community that can all work together. It's having those cobble and brick parts sidewalks and making the shops on the bottom, the classrooms on the bottom, with dormer buildings on top. When the kids leave for the summer, we use those apartments for what we need, our economic and tourism part, where people want to rent and come to Branford during the summer months. Again, Branford University would be our own university to teach people when you leave Branford High, you would actually learn and get your degree here in Branford. And it's a great plan that will allow us to show us how we can continue our education here in Branford. And again, we'll talk more about Branford University. This graphic you'll see a lot bit more is showing you some of the buildings and the drawings and how I shared most of my ideas of how we can build a little residential community campus, and that will make sense for us here in Branford. And again, it's something that I will offer more and share more with you. And again, it's showing you where I stand on education and how we can bring teachers, students, a long life history of making us be a little bit more of a college town, and how that can also help us for a long-term perspective on where we stand here in the state from education. And again, this is Branford University. So on to the next page. On the next page is another part of it, Indian Neck. There was a great plan that I came up with and how we could also colonialize and preserve part of Indian Neck. I will share more of this with you down the road. I just wanted to show you inside this packet is how we can actually utilize some of our buildings of our past that was in Indian Neck, and how we can make it be again part of Old Town, an art district, and how galleries and a lot of the actual culture of what is Indian Neck is part of this actual village, and actually preserving us, and how Beach Town could be part of our actual backbone. And again, this is a true generation of where we're heading. As our coastal management systems now are really needing to look upon where and where we are, we look upon our shoreline. This plan is partly doing that. So I'm trying to offer us is, instead of looking at what we have and trying to raise up another 15 feet, yes, we need to, it's being required. But we need to start beach retentioning. We need to look at sand duning. We need to also build barrier walls that will actually have the water breaking maybe 100, 200 feet out in our sound more. That allows us to have beaches all along the shoreline. We should be retentioning our beaches and also making sand duning. If we build our sand duning up at 15 feet, not only is it going to make an incredible shoreline, it's also protecting our current shoreline from being damaged, because they're going to have to break through the barriers before it gets to our mainland. And right now, we don't have any protection. We just want to build higher. Obviously, we can. That's easy. Go up 15 feet. We could obviously build columns, and we could obviously build the footings and all the type of foundations we need. But we use the nature of landscaping to preserve it and also make it look attractive by building up higher. But we also use nature to protect us from the elements. The next part we're going to talk into is going to be, again, part of another plan that I want to share with you is this other one, a great one. People always ask about the Branford Green. There's always so much going on in town. We love it. Absolutely. Branford Fairgrounds, utilizing some of our history of how we can make our carnivals, make it an agricultural farm, be part of our backbone, that we have also a town fair, that we offer these types of expos, a flea market and a farmer's market here in Branford. Doesn't have to be on town green. There's a part here in town that I'll share with you more down the road that allows us to have the Branford Fairgrounds. Being able to have that cultural element that we have in so many towns here in Connecticut, and we should take a piece of that pie. We should be able to have our own fairgrounds and share that type of passion and absolutely artistic people that can utilize and come up with their great plans and visions and share them with everybody here in town. by not impacting neighborhoods, not making there's no parking in the center of town. When this can be done in a whole other area in town that allows us to share the great of what we are. And agricultural absolutely is one of the things that I said before, and being an environmentalist, I absolutely want to go that way. And again, Branford Fairgrounds will protect us not only from being able to have major growth, it will actually show where we can put things here in Branford on to let people come and share, spend money, have fun, enjoy your life, come in and have a great family experience in Branford at the Branford Fairgrounds. The next part over here is part of the grander plan for Branford that I've shared with everybody over this last few years. Again, it's showing you where I want to bring our town, the things that are important to me, but things that I've reached out to people, and this is what they wanted to see. So inside here, you'll see in the grander plan, on the next plan, the first page, again, is actually of, Branford University. Again, showing us how we can utilize this part of our town to bring as part of our economic and actually a college campus here in Branford. The next part is a little bit more. There's a timeline wheel that I wish to share with you. Up on the top, you're going to see about community and the seniors, bringing in more housing here in Branford. On this side, we do need more housing here in Branford, as there's a 3-year waiting list right now to get in the Rosenthal Gardens. We look upon bringing our seniors and giving other people affordable housing by building the buildings that make sense for 55 and older, people who do need housing. We need to look upon making sure our land is built correctly. And this kind of thing is, again, important to making sure we have a senior living in residential communities. Second one here is the senior center. We have another point here. We need a senior center. Very clearly, you're going to see in a few minutes how I actually offer this to us. But again, a senior center is on my list to do. The next point I want to show you is going to be more of the community gardens. We are really out. We need community gardens, a place to start growing more for the town. Some of our things that we need, plants, landscaping, and utilizing us to be able to use community gardens here in Branford, which I'm proposing, is going to be important. In more of the districts, not just over in Pine Orchard, making sure that people have the right and the access to be able to use the community gardens to grow. Some of us live in condos and they can't grow those in their yard. Well, now you can. You'll be able to have a community garden in your neighborhood. It makes sense. We also look upon the next one that I want to share with you is a really important one to me, is again putting our power lines and cable lines underground. It's really important. It's time. With the amount of climate situations we're dealing with now, and just had a power outage the other day, we need to look upon making sure we look at our major power grids, looking upon getting CLP to be invited and interested in investing in Branford to make sure we looking upon making it cheaper to put our lines and cable systems underground, protecting us for future damages that we don't need to deal with when we already have the plan and putting a better future for us all by putting power ground underlined. Major roads should be Harbor Street, East Main Street, these Brushy Plains Road, we have Shore Drive. All of these things need to be looked upon from a grander plan. Yes, it's going to cost money. Yes, but there's people who want to invest in that money too. And the town should also be looking upon getting these grants to physically start providing us those solutions to something that they keep repairing them after they come down. We should have them underground. It's as simple. Fix it once. Don't need to fix it 20 times in a year. The next point we have here is bus service. People ask me many times, how can we create that? Absolutely. We have investors that look to bring a bus service here to Branford. That will allow us to operate and move people around town. Less parking is needed. And we also, people who live in this town don't have access or don't drive a car. And a bus service is greatly needed to move upon our town. And looking about bigger developments that I'm proposing have bus shelters and depots built inside them, which allows us to move tourism and people on these buses that are provided here in Branford. The next one was part of our other thing, is you'll see part of our environmental protection plan. With the zoo, we have our other things that I'm offering you is our preserving of our parks, making our parks be part of our life and culture, and making a park be with ice skating rinks, the boat lakes that we can actually take a little rowboat on. And again, utilizing like we do at Youngspun Park, but physically making this part of downtown Branford. And this is another plan that I'll share with you more of. And then up here we have more that I'm sharing with you is part of the Polo Village that I'll share with you, and again is also of the Branford Fairgrounds, which we just shared before. The next page, onto the back. It's going to show you a little bit more about our school plan. I'll share with you that in a few minutes, but again, how Pine Orchard can be another elementary school. I'm going to share you why, and it can make sense, how Sliney should be built over at Pine Orchard. And also how we have our new Branford Hills Elementary, another option, and how this can work and this beautiful new building can help us down the core when our town grows and our population, that we have a better plan. And the third one, again, is our other plan I'll share with you soon. It's going to be how we can maybe build the next intermediate school up behind Veterans Park. It makes sense why that 40 acres would be a grand plan for us to build the recreation department needs and our future school needs, while out in replacing or repairing intermediate school of Walsh. We use that as a community center and move a lot of these organizations in town. Many people don't have places to meet. All of the places in the commissions in town would be able to utilize the intermediate school. It makes sense to make it a full building of municipal services there for all these organizations, because it's like an office building setup. It makes it so much easier to utilize all of the services we want to use as a community center, and it's there. We can physically start with that. So after we build the new intermediate school, we can physically use that building to the one day we need that population increase. We have this property available to be the 2 intermediate school system that Branford would actually wish for and want if our town expanded. It's a good plan. It shows us how I'm putting together a plan that lets us understand I'm thinking for our future and looking upon making sure we're using the lands that we need here in town and using it very properly. Which of the next graphic is of Indian Dunes, which I just shared with you. A great public golf course for us here that replaced the Tabor property. And also over here on this side, a great thing. These are all of the photos I shared with many people, and I absolutely had a great time on the Branford Festival. These are our pictures this year in my booth. And again, sharing all the great people here in Branford. And of course, Anthony Taras. So on to the next one. The next part here is, again, a great part that I had some passion for us here is education. Yes, I'm on the Board of Education on your ballot, putting the right people who understand possibly that planning of where our schools is going to be important down the road. Putting someone also like me on the Board of Ed is important. If I do win for Selectwoman, again, we will challenge to look at our charter to see how we can addendum it to let a first selectman, elected official, be able to sit on the Board of Ed. It makes sense to be able to allow us to bring somebody who is in our leadership onto the Board of Education. It could be an ex officio. It can be an actual voted member. We will look upon that, but the point again is looking upon our education system and how leadership of a first selectman should also be helping involved and be part of the Board of Education. Onto this plan over here, we have our education plans, my grander plan for our education, which I was sharing a few minutes ago, on how our schools can make sense. Again, I'll share you here how our aquatic center, part of this new school system I'm sharing behind Veterans Park. Onto the next graphic, you'll see more information showing you some of the design ideas and planning that I'm trying to share with you, like a rock wall system for part of the recreation department, the skate parks, BMX parks, all of the other avenues, and showing you from the Little League and all of the types of ballparks and soccer that are making sense for us. Onto this side, you'll see more things such as our outdoor parks, making sure that we have a full functioning wagon wheel and all of the types of ballparks that the recreation department's asking for. The soccer, lacrosse, and tennis. These are the kind of things that fit within this actual design. So now let's share you with that design. On to the next page. This is what I call Autumn Ridge School. Autumn Ridge is a great place for us here in Branford. It's sharing you the greatness of what can be on a project. All of the needs that are required. Football, soccer, tennis, lacrosse, basketball. We have our baseball. We have our aquatics, we have playgrounds, and we also have one of the biggest things that you'll see in the middle is, again, the new school. It allows us to build the intermediate school like we should. And using new construction absolutely is the way to go. Retrofitting a building will always cost more. If we're going to use $100 million or $90 million like they did in Guilford to build a school, there's an option there to utilize that money to build the schools we need. We need to really make money first before we spend it, but we should also look upon building new. New will always give us a better return for us down the road than trying to retrofit a building that will cost us more. One thing that's important to this to me is, again, looking upon our leadership, looking sure that this building is our future, because we do need a possible new shelter, an emergency evacuation area. If we need to move 15,000 people out of the shoreline area and put them somewhere that's safe, power underground. We have 42 feet height already on the shoreline on this level of Branford Hill, of Brushy Plains. This will allow us to be able to be protected. There's almost all of the areas is underground already. This is allowing us to protect from electrical. Water can't be at this height at 42. It protects us from flooding, and again, it lets us have an emergency shelter. The high school is 100 feet from the river, and it was almost touching at my house on East Main Street when we had Hurricane Sandy. That's not where we want to put our people and move them and have this type of facility, when this facility is the right way, where we're over a mile away from the ocean, and it's also at a much higher sea level. That will also protect us. So this also can be where operations center is. If we have situations in town, a natural disaster, if I'm your leader, this is where we want to operate from, to be able to tell us and teach us and let us know everything in real time, to tell you immediately what we can do here in Branford. So this upon this building is looking for us to be our evacuation center, but also be our school, the rec, and bring all of the functions of making a town function with a relatable neighborhood. This is very populated. The landscaping, the sidewalks, making it have trails, using the brooks and the nature of what's up in that area, part of the architecture and all of the planning of using this area to its full potential. The next graphic that I'm going to share is a little bit more about the planning of the buildings. Again, we'll show you more from the indoor tennis, and again, some of the other areas you see as the aquatic parks. But now let's go to the next graphic. Another idea I'm going to share with you is part of the Branford Hills Polo Club. Another area that will show you why Exit 53 makes sense, and this idea will be shared to you later. This one is important to me. This one is for our seniors. My mother is a senior. I know many seniors in Branford, and our seniors shouldn't be an issue of where they're putting the senior center. We need to build one. End of story. We need to let these people have a lot more services that they need. So we shouldn't be bickering on parties and looking upon it as, why are we not built it 2 years ago? We need to. Prioritizing buildings? No, you need to prioritize how to get it done multitasking. Our seniors are very important to me, and again, this packet you're about to see right now in the next few pages is why I'm the right choice. These are what we need to focus on, again, is our seniors. And this packet right here is showing you how seniors are part of my priority. This over here is going to give you more information on the senior living plan, how actually the residential communities, new buildings that we could build for our seniors in better 55 and older and residential communities will make sense, which I'll share with you. But again, the senior center. A one-level building, a building that makes sense for all of us. And again, this is important to me, and it's going to be important to many other people down the road. And again, the funding for this is part of the actual Indigenous plan, making sure that these buildings relate. Again, as I said, this should be proposed down in that area. If we want to build another shelter inside or another senior center for functioning in downtown Branford, we will. We'll look upon making sure there is a facility for them in the downtown Branford area too. But this will make sense right now. Why we can use the land and make this building facility for them. There's nothing better than having a golf course that's on your senior center. Being able to have all the services inside the architectural dream of what they need from all types of art and functional rooms that they wish to do. And this is part of the plan for me, is showing you how a senior center can work immediately and how we can put it part of the Indigenous plan. On this side, again, we're showing you some of the housing and some of the things that can be done on senior living. On to the next page. Over on this side, you're going to see more information again. Again, it's my priorities. My priority is senior and housing. Then we look at public works. Then we look at our Indian Dunes golf course. And again, then we look at schools. It's very important that we look at this priority wheel, and it's important to me. So this is my priorities on that. And again, we're going to look upon other things, such as you see on this side, is again the country club. And looking at the Indian Dunes golf course. But on this side, this is the actual plan that I've drew up and the ideas of how the country club and the senior center make sense. Tennis facilities, bocce courts, horseshoe. Have inside here the indoor pool. Having our country club as part of the actual two-part buildings. They're two buildings. But this will help us understand a little bit more on how this functioning building works. It's one story, and it also has all of the needs and services that they ask for. We also can move the community kitchen. All of this can be built inside and utilizing some of our other properties for other needs, putting the right businesses and the right people together. So then on to our next graphic, which is going to still be a part of our seniors. Again, this will show you more of the housing ideas and planning that I'm trying to show you how buildings will make more sense, stronger, built better. Buildings that actually we don't see here every day in Branford by the actual design-wise is what I mean by that. Something that is a little bit more volume-orientated, but gives us what we need. The housing that we need here in Branford. Architectural, designed, beautifully landscaped, actually looking upon building buildings that are part of our actual culture, the actual part of the land that we live on here. And these are the types of things, as a designer, I'm trying to share with us, the types of great buildings that we should be sharing here in Branford, part of that core. And investors can be part of building these types of facilities for us here in Branford. Again, and this is a great graphic of the Thimble Islands. It's showing us that community of part that I'm trying to share with us here in Branford. Again, this is important to me, is where we come from. And again, this is shared here, and the types of developments that we can offer us here in Branford. To the next point is going to be another topic in Branford, which is public works. This here is showing you why. Why is it taking us so much time and effort to build an incredible facility that we need here in Branford? Public works. They do so much in this town. And again, it is one of my priorities, as I shared you a few minutes ago, building public works. But here's a great plan. Right here behind you. How transfer station works here in Branford. This will allow us to be able to fit these two departments together. They work together already. So this can show you on this graphic, again, is very clear, before and after. Here's the transfer site, what it looks like today, but this is how it could look with the public works next to it. Again, we might need 4 acres of it from the Bittersweet property, but by using the lower part of this property that I'm sharing you in this graphic, that'll allow that Stony Creek and also part of East Industrial Drive is connected to public works without having to go down East Main Street. 2 ways in and out, but this core works has all of the needs that was required in that plan, and you'll share it here and why public works can be built next to the transfer station. It makes sense. The next graphic is going to be also a little bit more about how these two look together, how they relate. And again, this plan is more about another idea, how public works might have some annexes, more other smaller locations here in Branford, closer to downtown. Not just having one big shelter and building the big 37,000 square foot building they want, we start making it smaller, building different segments that make sense to what their needs were. And again, this is sharing it. Type of building that can look and what they look like on a more of a smaller basis, and building other locations that allow us to service different parts of our town. We have 22 square miles here in Branford. It is hard to just put it right in the downtown center. It doesn't make sense with there. We need to put it in locations that make sense for all of us, not being able to just force it into a neighborhood. And look upon not putting it where a business should be located. Looking upon taking down tree lines and moving an entire mountain to build a steel box. There's 52 empty commercial buildings in this town, and we actually can look at a lot more land that we already have and own and look upon with new eyes and look at different people to look upon this and building us a new facility here in town. With somebody like me, I'm sharing you already some ideas, and I hope to offer them many more times to get this done more quicker and build it and be a multitasker at building the right buildings we need here in Branford. So next on to the next area is over here I want to share with you is the graphic. This graphic here is a proposal plan that I brought to us back in November 2012 and sharing you how public works would make sense on saving us money by not going to Tabor. And this graphic shows us how Branford could build public works for about $5.8 million and physically be able to save the town between $8 to $20 million by not going to Tabor. This graphic obviously with it, and hopefully now that it won't be going to Tabor, thank God, we actually just get it off the table with the new administration. But we do want to make sure that this won't go, and it will not with me, go down to Indian Neck. It just doesn't make sense down the Tabor property. But this here is a graphic that is very clearly showing us why it shouldn't go to Tabor. The next thing I'm going to share with you is, again, one more quickly, and is again just the before and after. Here again is the before and after, how public works. This is what it looks like before. And again, this is what it looks like with an after. Much larger scale. You can see how these two pieces work. Here's the transfer site. And again, here is public works with the filling stations, garages, and again, all of the types of services and needs that they want in their garages. It makes sense. To the next page. The next page is going to be the issues page. Everyone asks, what's the issues? Issues in Branford. Jacey Wyatt on the issues. I have many things I want to share with you on my seniors. Then we also have on this side is another thing that's really important to me is our taxes. It's your 2 cents. Well, it's a great plan if I want to offer us here in Branford is for every 2 cents of every dollar that's in the budget, we take that aside and save us $1 million. Off the table, right then, day one. You know what I'm looking for. So that saves us that million. We only saved about $144,000 this year in your budget. We should be saving a lot more. I'm showing you by taking 2 cents of every dollar makes sense, and this is one part of where we can save us money on our taxes. Next year is our reval. We're going to be looking at even increasing this, and I'm hoping to make it be as easy and not put too much burden on anybody. I'm looking to make sure it's a smooth transition and we don't look upon just taxing people. I don't want to build buildings to tax you. I want to make the investments. I want to make the people look to come to Branford to build us and give us the tax revenue we need, economic development and tourism dollars, to be able to give us the money we need to build our future. And again, it's your tax dollars, it's my tax dollars, and I will look at you. I will look out for us every single day. And this here is a game plan, which again, you could look upon on our website and share a lot more. On to the next one. Again, it's part 2. Again, you could share this in my website very clearly. Go to branfordvoters.com. You can read it very clearly. I know it's hard on this, but again, you could see my issues again on how we can work with Tabor, and secondly, to stop Public Works going to Indianock. This is the solutions and how we should be able to solve these 2 issues very clearly, as I just explained to us a few minutes ago. So the next page is more of the issues and how we could solve it. I know this writing is all here. Please go to our website, go to issues, and you can see all this very clearly at your own freedom. But again, this is showing you some of my concerns of what we have in the town, such as feeding children. We have starving children in Branford. Our road conditions. We look at coastal road and coastal management. We look at many of the things that are showing upon us. We need to take action now. Look about changing our charter. Looking about putting some new ideas that need to be brought inside this town. Looking upon some of the ordinances, and also look upon how we can increase our taxes by things we're not doing. This again is a list of all of the ideas and plans that I wish to offer you. Not hiding it under my desk. This is the transparent I am. I'm showing you what we can do and what I want to do. I'm not saying we're going to come out with it 20 years from now. I want to show you now. I want to show you how I have a plan and ideas of what we need to bring to the town of Branford. And again, you can share this in our website, branfordvoters.com. All this information is available to you. On to the next one, quick basic. Why I'm a great leader. Great graphic here telling you why it makes sense and I am a great leader. Showing you from this package should be explaining a lot more of what then what I talk about. I'm sharing it. I'm using my skills as a designer and while I'm a master thinker and planner here to show you where I'm coming from. And again, 3 parties. We want 3-party system here in Branford. Yeah, many of us who are going to be independent this year and vote are saying, I want Jacey to work with the Branford Republicans, the Branford Democrats, and the Independents. No one should be left behind. I will absolutely work with every one of them. I actually have friendships with every one of them, and I don't look to at all, ever, step inside and make anything difficult. I want everybody to work together, and that's why it's time for an independent candidate in Town Hall. And again, on this side, we have more information, again, about me and why you should vote independent. On to the next one. Let's talk about development real quickly. Some of our facts and figures of how Branford is not the best economic development town, and it's sad to see where we can bring this. Well, maybe with my leadership, we'll be able to work with all of our groups, commissions, and look upon helping us all look upon how we can make us all have a better plan for all of us. I'm offering you these plans here in front of us, a proposed 53, how this can all come together with investors, how we can work with the owners in some of the issues that are up there and make it come together quicker than taking a 20-year project down the road. On to the other one on this side, really important to me, exit 56. All exits are important. There's a plan for 54, there's a plan for 55, and there's a plan for 56 that I've been working for 10 years on coming up as a master plan. These here again are from thoughts and ideas of what it would look like if all the boxes came, if all of the planning that goes out into towns that we sat down. Not only have I been looking at professionals, I'm showing you this is where they make sense to go. It's the best track, flat land. It will be less impact. The roads are built to make sure it doesn't impact downtown areas and any of the areas in the neighborhood, and it functions correctly. A planner, again, why are we spending thousands and thousands on thinking it could happen? What I'm saying to you, again, from my professionalism, is showing you how we can. Looking upon this plan, 56 is a great potential for us to bring in the tax revenue that we need by utilizing some of that land. and making sure it grows to the level it needs to go. And in working with those owners and making sure they're happy with this plan. What else can we do? But also it's you guys, everybody out there. I wish we had referendums in our charter, and I will hope to change that and end it. But I want you to vote. I want you to be part of the voice of the town of Branford. And again, we shouldn't say just this is the way it is and that's the way it is. There's one plan and that's it. That's not with me. I'm just showing you an idea plan. If I can make it look like this, I want to see what else somebody could look like. I would love to challenge my other two candidates to come up with that could look like and what they would want. I'm saying what public wants, and this is also if corporate America wants this. That's why this is showing in front of you. Exit 56, great plan. You'll see all of the new roads, how we have a shopping center, cobblestone walk, center village ideas, and how all of the boxes will work here in Branford and make those jobs that we need, the money and tax revenue we have on land that's basically weeds right now. And looking upon the farmlands, if they're not going to be farms, we use them and build our new future here in Branford. But architecturally wise, buildings need to be very, very clearly looked upon at how each one looks. Look upon the roads, look on the landscaping. All of that's important. As a designer, that's my background. I like to see these kind of things, and I know that's what we don't see in Branford. We want to make sure that we are putting every effort we need to make that development be what we want it to be for years to come. Now to the next graphic is again showing your districts. We have got a lot of 7 districts here in Branford. This is showing you a little bit more of why I'm going to be transparent and what I really truly mean it by. We will be transparent, as I said in our inside of many of the things that I'm sending you. Being transparent, sending these department heads and all our managers to be transparent. Nothing's going done without public knowing. I want media and everybody to be involved in everything we do. A lot of things will be different with me. Our meetings will feel different. I want you to educate you and show you. I want graphics. I want things to be more productions so we physically show you more of what's going on here in Branford. Transparent starts day one with me. On this side, you're very clearly, I'm sharing you more of my information. Save the date. Vote Jacey Wyatt November 5th. Vote independent. And again, that's another page for us. Last page is going to be Jacey Wyatt Chocolatier again. It's one of my businesses. It's where I came from. It's where I started my life here in Branford and grew my business. Growing a business teaches us the lessons we need to do because it makes things happen. We know how to make things happen. Look upon how to work with things to fix it, solve it, quick as you can be. The more you make it quicker, the more money you can make. And that's again how thinking in Branford needs to be and why I'm the right choice. Just being the independent woman in Branford, but being the right choice as an independent woman and bringing me to town hall. But I need all you to make it happen. I thank you. Last page. Vote Jacey Wyatt. Vote the independent candidates. We put together some great people for you. I'm a great person on the independent ticket too. Your leader, the person that can lead us to the next level. It's best to realize on the ballot, as I said before, there's 3 people running for first. There's 5 running for second and third. If you want me, Jamie, and Andy to be your next first, second, and third, you vote for us. That means that third party officials may not be needed. If you want us in, those are the 3 you vote for. You can do whatever you want. It's your choice. I want you to vote the way you feel is best for all of us this year. I met many people along the way. I thank you. It's been an incredible journey for us. And I want to say again, vote independent. I hope you love what we're sharing with you. I hope you see my vision ideas are fresh, new, and it's time. It's time for somebody like me to be in town hall and make a great new version of Branford, the version that has been missing, the pieces that need to all come together and work with each other and look upon making these town from all our past administration and leaders be respected, understand where they've come from, and let's move forward. Let's respect where they've come and let's build us all together the next level of Branford. And I can do that for us. Again, I thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this whole entire avenue and show that I put together, the beautiful presentations. And again, I enjoyed sharing this with you. Again, this booklet is in our website. If you want one, please email me. Again, we have that information available to you. And remember, Branford, it's all of our town. We all are going to be part of this. And again, for me, as you're hopefully your next future leader, your first select woman here in Branford, I hope to be able to take us all on that journey and let us all become the better town, a better livable shoreline town than any other town. It's time for us to go and make that opportunity happen. And I'm the girl that can make it happen. Thank you very much.